Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Backmarkers Racing for the SLiDESIGNS Truck Series on this great Thursday night here in New Hampshire. We're looking pretty decent weather-wise. Partly cloudy, 78 degrees. Track temp 102. It's going to be a hot and slick one. Tonight, we are running the Ansley Foundation 175, a charity held close to the hearts of a couple of our iRacers here tonight. The Ansley Foundation is dedicated to neuroblastoma research and assisting with resiliency efforts for staff and families affected by pediatric cancer. We vow to continue her fight against the illness that took her so that the other families might one day live a different reality. Together, we can make a difference. And the Ansley Foundation, we put the link in the description to this race tonight. So the AnsleyFoundation.org, that is TheAnsley Foundation.org. Any donations help. Obviously, you know, childhood cancer charities are definitely ones you definitely want to help. So thank you for the sponsor tonight, and let's hope for a good race here. We're actually going green as Cofield leads them. Going to be sending it down in the turn one. Everybody seems to get through pretty well. Nothing major happening so far here. There's some side-by-side battles with Jay Bast, and that's Ryan Rose on the outside of him, looking to make the pass on the outside work. You won't see that a whole lot today, I can't imagine. This track is normally fairly bottom to middle dominant. As we're on Dustin Bally here, who's following those two. And then just ahead of them, you got Samuel Stoner, that is next to Devin Jack in the 17, following Evan Pient in the 55. So it looks like Devin Jack's going to slide up in line here in front of Stoner. And we're just going to get back to this gaggle of cars back here. We got, looks like Blake Hoppy on the inside of Johnny Rapp, making the move there with Robert Brobst behind him and Michael Kostick behind Robert, or next to Robert, sorry. This race is going to be 175 laps. It's a pretty good distance race here. Bear with us. It's mostly just me tonight, but we'll have Rain pop in a couple times, and I'll bring in a couple people to talk about the race and how it goes on. Everything's kind of equaling out here. Notice a lot of these guys in practice and some of their qualifying were were downshifting in the corners. I guess because you just have to let off so much and just roll through the corner, because if you try and get back on the gas too fast, you know, you're trying to put too much power down and it just wants to loop out the corner because it's such a flat track. So a lot of these guys are downshifting and then, you know, upshifting coming out of 4, and it helps at least stabilize a little bit. Oh, Jay Bass looked like he was trying to make a move there on Ryan Rose coming out of turn 2, but he slipped up just a hair. Cofield still leading by almost a half second over Jacob Bradley. Evan Pienta third, Devin Jack fourth, Samuel Stoner fifth, Ryan Rose sixth, Jay Bass seventh, Dustin Bally is running eighth, Steve Loving ninth, Peter Stewart 10th, Michael Kostick 11th, Johnny Rapp 12th, Blake Hoppy 13th, Robert Bropes 14th, Austin Holbrook 15th, 16th, Brian Bropes 17th, Sean Johnson, and rounding out your field so far, 18th, Daniel Morris Jr., who is doing some reverse bushwhacking tonight. Ran second in the ARCA race on Tuesday night at New Hampshire to Kevin Balmer, and Daniel decided he wanted to try and hop in a truck and see what he could do, and I think he's probably riding around and just getting a feel for the trucks. And this competition is different than on Tuesday nights, so we'll be looking to see if he can move up throughout the night. We're following Sam Stoner here. He's putting down some lap times, running fifth. He's up from sixth. We don't really have anybody who's made really big moves position-wise. Everybody's kind of fanned out and kind of where they started is where they are. Only have a couple position changes, as we actually have Dustin Bally on the inside of Ryan Rose right now, trying to pick up that 7th spot. Oh, looks like Brian Bropes in the wall a little bit, causing a little bit of a log jam as they're going actually 3 wide in the 1 here. I don't know. And you see Daniel Morris right behind him, just biding his time. It looks like Austin Holbrook might come out of this the winner. Yeah, Brian just running the top. He actually might have a little momentum coming off the top, but at least to hold Holbrook from squeezing up in front of him. They're actually the best battle on the track right now. Brian actually trying to get the high line going, it looks like. And they're keeping it tight, that's for sure. Brian and Austin. Brian's actually going to clear Austin, and here comes Sean right behind him. Might even get up to him to give him a push. He's trying to make the really high line work. Sean Johnson forces 3 wide. Oh, Brian has to back out. Dustin trying to make another move on Ryan Rose on the inside for that 7th spot to see if he can get it to stick. And Holbrook, Sean Johnson actually gets by Holbrook here. And Dustin still trying to make it stick here on the bottom, trying to get past Ryan Rhodes right behind Jay Bast. Dustin using that middle line. Sean on the inside here on Robert Bropes. Gonna try and make it work. Kostek on the inside of Steve Loving here, trying to make a move. And that is for 9th place. He's running the 1 lane up, not exactly running the yellow line on the bottom, but just 1 lane up. There's just enough banking there that you can get a little bit of drive off as Kostek makes the clear. And Peter Stewart's gonna maybe try his hand at the inside here, Steve Loving. Oh, he pushed up just a hair. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. I think Steve's going to be clear off the corner, but Johnny Rapp has a heck of a run on the outside, and he's going to pull right up to the back of Steve Loving. Peter Stewart trying on the inside again, and he... Oh, man. Oh, he got loose coming out of 2. He's going to lose 3 spots, or 2 spots there, to Blake Hoppy and Johnny Rapp there. Now Blake's on the inside of Johnny Rapp trying to take that spot also. Here's Daniel Morris. He's made a couple passes past the Bropes brothers. So he's up to 16th. He's just trying to get a feel for the truck. Daniel Morris actually trying to make a move here on Austin Holbrook for 15th place. And he can't really get it to... Well, he got it to stick a little bit off too. He's still going to be on the inside here. As we go back up towards Dustin Bally, finally made the move on Ryan Rose, put him up to 7th. So Dustin back up in his original starting spot, trying to make work on Jay Bast in the 53. And he did make it happen. Yeah, Jay definitely slipped and just went way high in 2, and Dustin was just close enough. He was just there, so he got the spot. So moved Dustin up to P6. Cofield has opened up a lead of 1.3 seconds, and he's checking out more and more by each lap. He was actually talked to him earlier today, and he said he likes the track. He's usually pretty good here. He's not really a short track racer, but he does pretty well on the flat tracks. He's just talking about how, you know, you got to back your corners way up, and then obviously the downshifting these guys are doing a lot of. So hopefully all the transmissions hang on, but or someone doesn't mess up and accidentally downshift too much, like we saw in the NASCAR Cup race this past Sunday. But we have another little pass for position here. We got Sean Johnson getting by Peter Stewart, and that is for 13th. And I do believe that will make Sean Johnson As of right now, our highest mover tied with 4 positions moved with Daniel Morris Jr. Other than that, it's been a fairly calm race so far. I think the pit window probably... I know these guys are probably having to back up the corners a lot, and their trucks are probably getting really tight. In the YouTube comments, we have Ty Brown, a member of Evil Empire, saying, let's get it. Sorry, I'm just now seeing these. Abraham Kalufa said, let's go number 91, Peter Stewart, bring Impact Racing a win. Abraham, if you're out and able, hey, go ahead and jump on in. I think what we might need to do here at this point, so just so y'all can hear someone else other than me talking, I might actually bring in Kevin Balmer. He is your Tuesday night winner here at New Hampshire in the ARCA series. So let's see if we can bring him in and see what he has to say.
Cofield and Bradley.
Hey, Kevin, it's Tyler in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Tyler. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing. Just following along here. It's not a whole lot going on with this race so far. Got a couple guys up 4 positions, but that's about that's about the most passes we've really seen here. But what do you think about this run so far?
Well, it looks like everybody's fairly spread out right now. So I think a full green flag field run's about 90 laps or so is what we figured in practice. So they're about a third of the way through it. Just watching the front 2 with Jonathan Cofield and Jacob Bradley, they're about 4/10 a lap quicker than the entire field right now. I'm not sure if they just have that much pace or if they're pushing that hard. Time will tell.
It's crazy.
It is. There's no doubt that they're really good, but I'm a little worried about what that right front's gonna look like come lap 60 or so.
Oh no, Daniel Morris gets loose in the turn 1, and then it caused
we got a big crash in turn 1.
We bring in here and we get some action. Look at that.
Yeah, I guess you'll have to bring me in more often. I don't know, but this is definitely gonna shake up the strategy of this race. Right now they're looking at about 145 to go, so they can't make it to the end.
Yeah, I'd venture to say they'll be coming in to get a set of tires. They have 4, so they started with 1, so they had 3 in the pits. I'd venture to say they'll probably be coming in.
I do too. It looked like they're on that 32 lap run. Cofield dropped off a second in just 32 laps, so there's definitely some real tire wear going on out there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm curious to see how many of these guys have ran this track before. That first run there might have just been a learning experience, trying to get some lap times and seat time just to figure out what's going on here. We got somebody's smoking coming down pit road.
Johnny Rapp stayed out.
Well, oh boy.
He must have a lot of confidence in his tire saving.
I will say, Johnny, I've been helping Blake so far in the race, and Johnny was very conservative the first 15 or 20 laps, and then he kind of took off. So I wonder if he feels like he saved enough tires that if he can get a couple of cautions here in the next handful of laps, that this track position might play off. But
it looked like Jacob Bradley came out first. Cofield didn't come out till what looks like 3rd off pit lane. Devin Jack come off second pit lane. So, and I think Holbrook, yeah, he was involved in the wreck. So he'll probably get a wave around.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Looks like Cofield is just a little more gentle getting to the box. Jacob was really aggressive getting in there, and I think that might have been the deciding factor there. Maybe Jacob only took two. You know, if you're getting tight, taking two tires is going to loosen the truck up. I know Sean Johnson tried that in the ARCA race Tuesday, and he said it helped out a ton with being tight. So maybe that was just a two-tire stop. I haven't went back and looked at the replay of Jacob's pit stop here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It might actually be.
Might have been only fuel only. I never saw the right side of his truck even lift up.
He might save his set, extra set tires. It might have been what a lot of people did, because I don't think we had too big of a shakeup other than Sean Johnson up from 17th starting spot. Pace car peels off again here. Hate to see Daniel Morris in that caution there with his first start, but here we go, back to action.
Just a learning experience for Daniel. I think this is the first time he's been in the truck in this league, and Johnny's probably regretting the no pit stop there as he slides really high in turns 1 and 2.
Cofield made a beeline for the front too, and he is right back up to third, and there's a big stack up behind him, behind Devin Jack actually, 3 wide. And Stoner's going to make a push 4 wide coming out of 4. Dustin Bally and Sam Stoner are going to take those spots away from Pienta and Devin Jack here. Oh no, Stoner tagged Bradley.
Lost him from the field. Well, everybody did a really good job to avoid that.
Very good job. They were right in the middle of the turn too, especially if you can't see past these trucks. If you're behind somebody, you're kind of at the whim of, you got to make whatever move they do.
Right, yeah, your vision's pretty blocked in these trucks if you're tucked up behind somebody. It looks like Jacob got real loose coming to the corner, and Stoner was even looser, and unfortunately he just tagged him, and I almost wonder, I got a feeling Jacob didn't take tires there, and so he was probably going a little slower than what Stoner expected him to be on entry.
Yeah.
And it's just a stack up accordion effect there.
Yeah, that definitely happens.
Luckily, it doesn't look like Stoner has too bad damage to his truck. Bradley's got some rear damage, obviously. I thought he got hit in the left front, but it doesn't look terrible.
Well, that's going to be something we'll have to watch too, because that'll be Jacob Bradley, who has been consistently like the second fastest, at least in this race, coming up through the field from 17th. So that's going to be a pretty good show to watch. He'll be making some moves. I'm sure he'll be wanting to get right back up there.
Oh yeah, it's going to be really fun watching Jacob trying to work his way up there. We know he's got the pace. It does look like he got hit in the left front, but there really isn't any body damage. So the only bad thing is he tried. I think he was trying to save a set of tires, but spinning out like that, you're going to have to burn a set now.
Yeah, and that's going to help him coming from the back too. He'll be able to come back up to the front, and hopefully, if he can hope Cofield and Johnny Rapp don't get too far out ahead, he can be able to at least use those fresh tires to stay up with them. But then again, that puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage later on, possibly, if those guys come in and pit and he doesn't have that extra set. So
yeah, you're absolutely correct. And this is exactly what Johnny Rapp wanted. He wanted these guys to get a couple heat cycles on their tires, try to get the tires to even out a little bit.
Yeah.
And
sure.
So far he's probably, I'd say, one for 3. If he can get a couple more quick cautions like this, the heat cycle on these guys with newer tires is probably going to help them even out a little bit more and give them a little better track position.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it, but you kind of dominated the ARCA race Tuesday. I obviously just talk with you throughout the course of the day on most days in our team chat, but tell everybody at home about that race Tuesday night if they missed it or they just haven't figured out that, hey, my Tuesday nights are boring. I need to watch these ARCA races.
Yeah, the ARCA series it's really exciting. We got some fresh faces in there and some new talent, and so sometimes there's some pretty exciting stuff that happens. The race Tuesday I'm a little biased. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, it's always a good time. I know these truck drivers are really good, but we got a lot of really good guys in the ARCA series too, and New Hampshire put on a pretty good show for us. I think it led every lap, but one of them, thanks to clean air and the driver not driving over his head, he did his job Tuesday night. So we'll take it, and I think the ARCA series moves on to the road course at Daytona next week. And I think I'll be also running the truck series at Charlotte next week. So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
if you're not annoyed of my voice and personality tonight, you can catch me Tuesday night and Thursday night next week.
That's right. Well, I'll definitely be watching you at Charlotte. I personally am scared to death for this Daytona road course. I am not a road course guy whatsoever, and it will most likely show Tuesday. So I'm ready to get back in the car. I hate that I missed Tuesday night, but life do be happening. So
Absolutely.
going green again here. Oh, we got a little bit of a checkup here in the middle.
Yeah, Johnny got a really good launch. I don't know if Cofield just didn't anticipate him going where he went, or if that inside line I did notice on restarts in the ARCA races very dominant compared to the outside. But Cofield's already looking to the inside. I think those fresh tires are going to pay off for him here fairly early on.
Dustin Bally up there fighting Pien. Oh, they make contact.
A little bit
Fighting
of contact.
Third here. Cofield with a little bit of a blink there. And he's kind of blinking a little bit back and forth.
Yeah, I noticed that a little bit in practice. I'm not sure what's going on with his internet. I haven't really noticed him having that issue all season. And for some reason, unfortunately, it's acting up tonight.
So he takes back over the lead. I'd venture to say he'll might check out.
Gonna say that was a power move by Cofield to just
Definitely
drive underneath his teammate there, and now he's pulling away.
And Pienta, he makes a move on Johnny Rapp. He clears him. So we got Sean Johnson here on the inside of Jay Bast going for looks like 6th here. And Steve Loving thought about making it 3 wide, but he decided probably better of it.
Yeah, I think Johnny Rapp on an alternate strategy. I think Sean probably only took fuel. Maybe he only took right side tires again. Robert Bropes, I think he also is on a different strategy compared to a lot of these guys that took 4 tires. So it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of maintain some of this track position. It seems to be the name of the game around here at New Hampshire. Is just track position is so key, especially when the tires even out and everybody's running close to the same lap times.
I think I just seen our guy Blake Hoppy in turn 1 and 2 running on the flat under the yellow line.
Yeah, I know when I was helping him, he was making up quite a bit of time running that line. And he seems to really like that line. He feels like it's helping him save some right front, and it looks like he's going forward here again.
Yeah, he's picked up a spot or 2 since the restart, and he just got past Robert Brobes, who I don't know if he got loose off a 2 or what, but Jacob Bradley hasn't really moved up much. I don't know what's going on there. He's back. He's in 18th, which is last. Yeah. I wonder if he's just saving.
He might be. He might be waiting
for another caution.
Yeah, he might be waiting for another caution here, and then he'd probably stay out would be his next option, because he's.
It looks like he's just pacing back there.
Yeah. If I know anything about Jacob, he's got a plan, and it's probably smarter than most people's plans. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be too concerned this early on into a race, but yeah, I'm sure he's schemed something up here to try to get his track position back.
Yeah, all the Jacob Bradley fans out there, I'm sure he'll be back. So don't turn the broadcast off just yet.
It looks like from Johnny Rapp and Steve Loving on back, we got a little bit of a bottleneck here. These guys are racing really hard.
Hey, Daniel Morris back up there. He's up to 12th after his first caution incident a little bit ago. It's a good recovery for him as Robert Brof's on the inside didn't make a stick, so he's going to claim that spot. Stay in 11th place. Oh, Sean Johnson off two big loose. Big loose.
He was. He's going to lose quite a bit of spots there due to that.
He lost 4 there if Robert completes the pass, which looks like he is. Man, that's big because track position is everything here, it seems.
Yeah, the field is as tight as it is. And as flat as this track is, that's going to be really hard for these guys to make moves and pass unless they save a little bit of tire. They're just that much faster.
I'm noticing here, looking at the times, Cofield is 1.1 seconds ahead of second place Evan Pienta. Then Dustin Bali is only a half second behind Pienta. So the first 3 are within 2 seconds, which so far the trends of this race, is kind of big for now. And then it falls off to 3.5 seconds back for Ryan Rose. So first 3 seem to really have something going on.
Yeah, I got a feeling that a lot of guys say that this track felt kind of like a road course with the braking that you have to use and some of the wheel input. And I got a feeling maybe he wasn't sandbagging, maybe he was, but I got a feeling that Dustin Bali's probably going to run top 5 for the majority of this race, if not top 3. We know he's really good at road course races. I feel like this track probably fits his driving style.
Yeah.
And right now he's showing that he just opened up the gap a little bit more on the guy behind him and Ryan Rose in 4th.
Yeah. And Cofield actually opened it up just a hair more on Dustin as well. So, it's all give and take, and Cofield's taking it right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned his name a little earlier. I gotta give a shout out to Daniel Morris Jr. He was running the top 10 there for a while, but he's gotten past, so he's back to 11th now. But this is the first time that he's in a truck, and these guys are showing him no mercy. But when I was talking to him earlier, he said, he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But, he's another one of our ARCA regulars. Has done a really good job this year. I feel like he's not really that well known, but on Tuesday night he gave me a run for his money. He's definitely improved this season, and I'm proud of him for sticking this out. He's these truck guys aren't showing him no mercy, but he's also not making it easy on them.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a threat for the top 10 once we see how this plays out. But you're right about Tuesday nights. He's sitting 4th in points, in ARCA points. So, if they don't know, if we don't know about him, then we're gonna have to find out because he's gonna let us know. I hate it because last Tuesday night at Darlington, I wrecked him twice. One time was absolutely my fault. Second time there was a big checkup and I really just had nowhere to go, and it just happened to be him right in front of me, and I apologize so much to him after the race because I ruined his race and he didn't end up having a good finish whatsoever. And I know he's chasing that points championship, but I just really felt bad, especially being teammates. It really it made it so much worse. I would much rather wreck somebody else if it had to happen. But I felt bad. I still feel bad about it, but we're gonna hopefully overcome that and be all right. And I'll just definitely make sure to give him a little extra room next time.
Yeah, I completely hear you. You hate to wreck anybody or run over anybody, but especially when it's a teammate. I'll be freely honest, I'd rather run over somebody else than a teammate because it makes it kind of awkward. But a lot of the guys in the ARCA series, they're cool guys. They kind of get it. We're racing. We're not just riding around. So hopefully that's something that you guys will be able to get figured out and move forward upon.
Oh yeah, we're good. I told him I just kept apologizing. He was like, man, it's just all right. We just have to know, if we're around each other or around teammates and stuff, just give a little extra room. And I just yeah, I felt bad, but man, I just keep seeing Johnny Rapp just sliding backwards. Just got passed for 13th by Robert Brobst.
So that strategy is staying out. If you got a couple more cautions, I think it would have worked out a little bit better than what it has.
Yeah.
Right now it seems like I think everybody that's passed him is either on 2 tires or 4 tires. The biggest movers we've had so far is Michael Kostick. He's went from 12th to 6th, and Blake has went from 14th to 8th, and right on the heels of Steve Loving. Cofield on those fresh tires has absolutely opened it up.
3.5 seconds, yeah.
Nobody's catching him right now. I was telling Blake earlier, I'm like, I don't know if he's got that much pace or if he's burning his tires up, but as it stands right now, I think he's just got that much pace over the field.
I'd like to know how these guys are so dang fast, because I can't ever just... It seems like in the middle of the run, I'm okay once I get a little tire wear, and then once my stuff falls off, I pretty much fall off the face of the earth. It's bad. Darlington was that way for me in the ARCA car. Blake's looking to make a pass. Oh no, actually Sam Stoner here is taking the ace spot away from Blake.
Yeah, I think that might have just been Blake letting Stoner go by. We still got over 100 laps to go. There's no reason to push the issue now. If he feels like Stoner's faster,
yeah,
there's no reason to hold him up. And
Stoner's making a move on Loving too, it looks like here.
Either Stoner saved quite a bit of tire here early on, or he just decided that it's time to go, and if I use him up, I use him up. But he's definitely making some progress towards the front. Interesting thing that I'm looking at. So Jacob Bradley is still sitting in last place in 18th, and for the most part, his lap times have been staying about around a 32-second lap. I'm not sure if he's, what we talked about earlier with just saving tires, or if he's actually got some damage and didn't take a fast repair.
Yeah, that could be too. And you also see Devin Jack back there in 17th, who Bradley qualified 2nd, is down in 18th, and Devin Jack qualified 3rd and is down in 17th. So, yeah, they might just be riding around, biding their time, and waiting for green flag pit stops to, cycle through possibly. But yeah,
it's fun.
It's weird strategy here.
Funny enough, I do believe it was Devin that hit Jacob in the left front when he spun out, and now they're nose to tail. So I don't know if both those guys have damage or if they have a different plan. They've kind of fallen off the pace of our 16th place runner, Peter Stewart, who also has a little bit of right front damage. So it'd be interesting to see if maybe they wanted to get later into this race and hope for a yellow to use the fast repair, or what the strategy call is there. Dustin Bally just moved into second place. He's pulling away from Evan Pienta.
We actually have here a good battle for 4th place. Kostick on the inside of Ryan Rose, and Jay Bass just stalking both of them. Kostick, man, he has just turned it on. He is from 12th place qualifying, and he's up to 4th, or fighting for 4th here, because Ryan Rose is really just making it work on the outside. And I think Kostick actually clears him, so he's going to duck up, and then Jay Bass is going to try his luck on the inside at Ryan Rose.
Yeah, this was a really interesting top 6. You got Kostick, who I believe is 3rd or 4th in points. Jay Bass, who we know is a phenomenal road course racer. And like I alluded to earlier, this track's a little bit like a road course with the braking zones and stuff. And then you got Ryan Rose, who originally started out as a late model guy in our league. And now he jumped up to the trucks and he's hanging right there with some of these guys.
He's still hanging on the outside of Jay Bass there for fifth.
And as you see, Ryan's kind of putting his right rear right where you'll see a different shade of asphalt in the corners. And I found in the arca race, if I could put my right sides just slightly above into that different shade of asphalt in the corners, there was quite a bit of grip there. And Ryan's doing a really good job of doing that, hanging on. Oh, we drove her really deep into the corner, though he's going to wash up a little bit, give Jay the position.
Yep. Made it work. All right, so Jay slots into the fifth spot, which is where he qualified, so looking pretty consistent. Ryan Rose falls back to sixth. He's still having an incredible run, really, for just being a part-time truck guy.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job so far, and I think Stoner's coming now. He got past, I believe it was Steve Loving, got past Blake Hoppy. He's up to seventh. Blake also has gotten past Steve. Steve's kind of fallen off here, which I noticed that happening in the first run.
Yeah, he's
I'm not sure if
passed right now by Austin Holbrook.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Steve's just was struggling with lateral grip, or if he's just not comfortable with this type of track style, or what's going on. We're used to seeing him a little bit closer to the front. You know, he's sitting second in the points. That's no fluke. He's been fairly consistent all year. So it'd be interesting to see if he can kind of get it figured out here in the second half of the race, or if he's got to try to pull off a little bit different strategy.
Yeah, just kind of combing through the field here. Daniel Morris is hot on Sean Johnson's trail. That's for ninth place. Sean Johnson up from 17th starting position up to ninth, so he's having himself a really good run. I think he likes these short type tracks, flat tracks.
Yeah, Sean was, he was pretty fast in the ARCA race Tuesday that we had. I think he got kind of mired back in dirty air and traffic, and he took 2 tires on our last pit stop, and I believe he came home fourth. So, he's no slouch on these shorter tracks with no banking, and he's hanging under the top 10 spot right now.
Got a battle here for 13th. Johnny Rapp with Robert Ropes on the outside of him, and Peter Stewart waiting for something to happen here.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of the problem with this track. If you get 2 guys side by side and you're behind them, you kind of just have to be patient and wait for a hole to open up or for an opportunity to arise.
And then right behind Peter Stewart is Mr. Bradley.
I was gonna say, I almost wonder if Jacob's getting a little worried now that if this race goes green, he's gonna get lapped. So he might be turning it on just a little bit. He's actually, according to my overlay right now, he's pretty much mirroring the lap times of Jonathan Caulfield.
Pulls off. He finally had enough.
I was gonna say, that is the thing that I love about Johnny Rapp. He's not scared to make the aggressive call, the different call. It's pretty much checkers or wreckers with that guy. I know he's had some bad luck and been burned by some of the strategy calls the last couple weeks, but he's definitely entertaining.
Oh yeah, he definitely puts on a show. Seems like every time that he's either up near the front or making some kind of strategy call from like where he started. He started in 11th and he only made it a couple positions, and then he decides to stay out for the first caution. So something different.
Yeah, that might have been, I think you get a couple extra points for leading a lap, so that might have played a part in it. But I think a lot of people forget that he pretty much, between him and Blake Hoppy, those two dominated the race at Dover. And unfortunately,
yeah,
he made the wrong strategy call at the end of the race and stayed out, and I believe Michael Kostick was able to get around him at the end.
Yeah, that was a very eventful race, to say the least.
Yeah, I think if the viewers at home watch that race, they'll understand what we're alluding to. But
Yeah.
I hated that for Johnny.
Man, I hated it for Blake.
Yeah, Blake was yeah, that was just a heartbreak city for both them drivers.
Yeah, I think he might have had it in the bag, but man. And speaking of Blake, he actually just made a pass on Ryan Rose for 7th, so mark that down. And Ryan Rose actually looks like he's starting to slide back just a hair. He's got Sean Johnson on his inside here. Daniel Morris Jr. right behind them. Daniel's running in 10th. Big shout out.
Yeah, Daniel is doing a really good job for his first truck start. These things aren't anything like an ARCA car, you know. And I got a feeling Ryan Rose is probably finding that out the hard way. He's used to the late models, and these things obviously burn a lot more tire than the current late models that we have on iRacing. And so he might have pushed the truck a little too hard and burnt his tires up a little too soon.
Yeah.
He's really loose coming off turn 4, so he's probably begging for a caution or for his pit window to open here.
I'd imagine they all probably want to get in there and get some tires just to loosen back up a little bit. I'd say they're probably backing up the corners a lot more now.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, I'm trying to look here. When we had
Morris
that
just made a
caution.
pass on Ryan Rose for 9th.
Yeah, so it's looking like about a little over a second of fall off once again here. And so seems like usually with the current tire model that iRacing has, once you drop off between that 1 second to 1.3 seconds, the tires really start to act a little goofy. It kind of feels like you're out there on rubber beads or basketballs, if you would. There's just no grip left in them once you get them hot enough and worn down enough.
Boy, do we got a heck of a battle here for 13th. We got Peter Stewart just past Robert Brobst. Brian Brobst will probably be coming flying by them. He's on fresh set of tires. Looked like he's 1 lap down. Jacob Bradley right behind them and Devin Jack following, but I'm still just kind of surprised Bradley hasn't made a move on either one of these guys yet.
Yeah, so I'm still a little confused. I expected Jacob to kind of fly through the field here. I did notice Tuesday night, left side tires really don't wear out that much. So if Jacob can get into his pit window and not have to take as much fuel, I could see him trying to take 2 tires to gain some more track position here and see if he can get a caution and then hope everybody comes down to take tires at the end.
Yeah, this is about our closest gaggle of cars here. Everybody else is kind of spread out, other than Daniel Morris closing in a little bit on Sean Johnson, but they're staying at a steady little 0.3 of a second here right now. Looks like Holbrook actually going on to the inside of Ryan Rose, trying to pick up that ever so coveted 10th place for the top 10 for your super license points.
So I got a little bit of news. I checked in on our boy Blake. The last 3 laps, he has been 8 tenths, 3 tenths, and 5 tenths quicker than our leader Jonathan Cofield. Fastest truck on track right now. We know Blake's really good at saving tires.
Tire wizard.
So I wonder if, and even Dustin Bally, he's cut the lead down to 2.1 seconds. He's been over half a second quicker the last 4 laps. So did Cofield go too hard? Or is he kind of just backing the pace up a little bit here now?
I don't know. let's see where he is in relative to his.
That time by
Well,
Cofield's at a 32.08, and Dustin Bawley's at a 31.99. So roughly another tenth right there.
Yeah, that's definitely something to watch for here.
I'm trying to take a look at Cofield. Cofield looks really tight right now, so I had a feeling he might have used a little too much right front tire.
Yeah, that's very, very strong possibility because he shot out of a cannon.
Yeah,
After that restart, so
he's running a little bit a unique line compared to some of these other guys. Cofield's kind of diamonding the corner where he enters a little bit lower, drifts up in the middle of the corner or the apex, if you will, and then he kind of cuts it down where Dustin's kind of running middle and then cutting it down. So he's using less steering input, and it seems like it's working so far. Once again, there's another 3/10 off Cofield's lead. Dustin Bawley is coming in a hurry.
and that makes me wonder. Once he gets there, well, I mean, how hard is it going to be for him to make it stick?
Yeah, I mean, Dustin's just got to be really careful. Like, obviously, Dustin knows that the truck in front of him is getting bigger, but you also don't. You got to keep yourself in a level-headed state of mind to not push the truck. You know you're faster than him. You're going to get there eventually. Don't go faster than what you need to go.
Right. Well, we're pretty much halfway, so we'll see how these strategies play out here because Dustin Bawley just keeps ticking off.
Yeah, he is. Whatever he changed or did, it's definitely working.
Looks like Cofield exiting super high out of 3 and 4. I don't know if he just can't get the turn and he's just trying to let it, it's hard to say. But yeah, he may have just used too much of his stuff.
When I'm listening to the in-car on Dustin Bawley's truck, he's shifting in the corners. I think Cofield's doing it too, as I just heard him shift coming on turn 4. So they're both using the same techniques. And now the last 2 laps they've pretty much mirrored their time. So maybe Cofield was just backing the pace off a little bit, toying with these guys.
Yeah, I don't know if he just wants to get somebody close, just for the sake of having fun, or what. But Dustin's kind of a steady 1.5 seconds now. But yeah, they've definitely gapped. Even third place Michael Kostick, he's about 4 seconds back. So I mean, it's kind of a 2-horse race for the moment.
Yeah, and Kostick's pulled away from Evan Pienta. He was able to get around him handful of laps ago, so he's pulled out a 3-second gap over Evan. And looking at his times, he's mirroring the top 2, but he's not making up a whole lot of ground.
Yeah, the three truck battle here with Blake Hoppy in 7th, Sean Johnson in 8th, and Daniel Morris in 9th. They're about the closest set of trucks we have together right now. So
yeah, and I don't know if Sean took 2 tires or not, but if he did, he's doing a really, really good job of holding on to that thing so far.
Yeah, he definitely is. Let's see here. Evan Pienta peels off and hits pit road.
That's it. So yeah, pit window's definitely open. His teammate Jacob Bradley just called it. He's pitting as well. So this might have been a game plan for the payday guys.
Preston's pitting. Jay Bass pitting. These are all guys that have put out the message in the iRacing chat for those at home watching on the broadcast. We can see that they put the message out, say they're pitting, just to let their competitors know that they're going to be slowing down and peeling off the track. So hopefully, oh no, Sam Stoner spins on the entrance to pit road. Oh no.
Yeah,
He gets
that's
corrected. Man, he's gonna lose so much time
I
there.
was gonna say that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario was the yellow would have came out to help him from losing as much time as what he is going to on the green flag pit stop. And looking at Cofield, he stayed out 2 laps longer now than Jacob Bradley, or excuse me, Dustin Bawley. Tire fall off is about 2 seconds a lap. I believe Dustin was like 1.8 behind Jonathan when this pit cycle started. So it should cycle around to Dustin in the lead as long as he doesn't get held up by anybody here. I got a feeling Cofield trying to run this closer to the end of the fuel cycle and run everybody else back down with the fresher tires, maybe take 2 tires and a little less fuel.
Also, while all that was going on, we had Sean Johnson and Daniel Morris were side by side, and Sean got pretty loose out of 4. Daniel Morris takes that spot. So with pitting and everything going on, that'll move Daniel Morris up to 4th. But that's it's a heck of a run for the rookie driver, basically.
Yeah, I tell you what, for telling me that he didn't know what he was doing in these things, it sure looks like he's making it look easy.
Yeah, he just talking to him earlier too. He just said, the more seat time he gets, he figures it out. Just like in the ARCA races, he was telling us, he's normally not fast, like just practicing by himself or qualifying, but he he figures it out. He takes what he can learn from running by yourself is so, but at least me personally, if I can follow somebody that's faster than me, normally I can pick up on little things here and there and make myself a little bit faster. So I think he definitely has done that so far this race, and he's definitely making a great showing for his first one.
No, I totally agree. I always get a little frustrated when I go into some of the practices that we have, and Daniel's in there, because I know that if I'm faster than he is, he's going to study what I'm doing, and usually 9 times out of 10 it seems like he ends up being faster than what I was doing. So but yeah, I would encourage anybody that's looking to get into iRacing or wants to try it out. Once you get your feet wet, it's pretty addicting, and the only way to get faster is, I would suggest, going into some races and just, we call it ghost watching. So if you ghost watch some of the fast guys, you learn kind of what they're doing, the lines that they take, and seat time is a major thing in sim racing compared to real life. Real life, you get a little bit better of a feel for the car. Sim racing, you kind of just have to.
More of a visual.
It's more of a visual and muscle memory thing than anything.
Yeah, and also with iRacing, it helps when you can find a great group of guys to run with, or jump in a league with, instead of doing those sometimes just deadly officials.
Yeah, the unfortunately, the officials have kind of taken a turn for the worse the last couple of years.
It happened with COVID.
Yep.
Before it seemed like you could jump into an official and you can have some fun, great group of people. But since COVID happened, and then they put the NASCAR drivers on there doing the weekly races, and that gave every little 8-year-old kid telling his parents, "Hey, I want a computer. I want to race iRacing like Chase Elliott or whatever." And then you got these. Well, now what would be like 10 or 11-year-old kids on here just running around, running you over. It's frustrating, but that's why this league has an age restriction. So
yeah,
gotta keep them kids out.
I completely agree. I call that the Ross Chastain effect. Thanks, Ross.
Yeah.
But no, I'm completely kidding is it looks like Robert Brobst has called out he is taking his truck either down pit road or he's just coming off pit road. It's showing him a lap down, so he might have just came off of pit road.
Our three guys here are still the closest out of everybody. Daniel Morris, Sean Johnson, and Blake Hoppy in front of them too. But it looked like Sean Johnson and Daniel Morris, they're like attached right now. They're just so close. They're kind of bouncing off each other a little bit there out of 4.
I was gonna say they might be starting to get a little frustrated. You see a guy for too long, you start to get frustrated with them.
Sean pulled right up on him, and it looked like he gave him a little bump there and won, but he's going to lose a little bit of momentum there, just trying to get it off of 2 there.
The one thing I'm watching, Cofield has stayed out so far. At this point, I'm guessing he's just running to the end and hoping for a yellow, maybe, as Ryan Rose says he's pitting. But Cofield's running 32-1 for a lap time. Dustin Bally is running 31 flats. So the longer that Cofield stays out, it's just going to open up that gap for Dustin. Dustin just has to do a good job right now of not burning his stuff up too soon, because he's going to need it at the end of this race with Cofield coming on fresh tires.
Blake and Sean peeled off. They're going to hit pit road here. So that'll move Daniel Morris. Cofield's pitting. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm 103, so yeah, I'm guessing this is probably the end of the field run for these guys. It was roughly 88 to 92 laps, which were fairly close to it. Too.
So, Austin gonna inherit the lead here.
Road, yeah.
Get him a bonus point for leading the lap.
Which, if you're Caustic, you got nothing to lose. You're running. I believe he was running 3rd before the pit cycle started. So, if you can go a couple extra laps, not a bad thing to have a couple extra fresher tires.
Yeah, and I mean, bonus point never really hurt anybody, from my understanding. So,
no, absolutely not.
So Cofield pulling out of pit road now, following Steve Loving there. So it's gonna be curious to see how all this cycles back out here. Dustin is showing about 13 seconds behind Cofield, so. And that's trimming down. Dustin actually just passed Cofield. So Dustin is going to inherit the lead, I assume, once Caustic actually in pit road now. So I didn't hear a call out there. So Dustin Bally.
Looking like Dustin's going to have roughly a 14-second lead as it stands right now, which is just the difference that the tires make around here. It's a short, flat track, but the surface is somewhat old, and with no banking, it definitely burns the tires up in a hurry.
So we have to see here. We'll go a couple laps and let everything cycle out, and then we can give a field rundown. But Dustin Bally inherits the lead by about 7 seconds over Evan Pienta. And then Jay Bast in the 53 is running 3rd. 4th is Johnny Rapp. He's managed to get his way back up there.
Yeah. I think Johnny's obviously on a different strategy like most weeks, and right now it's got him in the top 5 again.
I wonder how that's going to play out, if we get into this next little run here, how much he's going to fade.
It'll be interesting. Right now, looking at times, he's a second slower than Dustin Bally. Johnny's on 21 lap older tires compared to Dustin, and let me do the math here quick. 34 lap old tires compared to Cofield, so. He's probably going to take a slide backwards, but it's better than what the alternative was of where he was running after that first caution that we had that had him slip back to 13th or 14th, I believe.
So, since he pitted a little earlier, that would put him with 2 sets of tires left. Now, him being the wild strategist that he is, and he's now up in fourth. What would it have been beneficial for him to come down, take a set of tires when everybody else did, and then he'd be able to be on the same strategy as them with only one set of tires left, with about let's see, about 60 laps left, and track position is key. That would have kept him up there, but he would have been down a set of tires compared to everybody else. I don't know if that strategy would have been all right, but with this race going green, it might have been a good play.
Yeah, it looks like, so he pitted lap 74, which is a 101 lap run to the end. So he can't make it on field. He's going to have to make another pit stop. So he's going to have to hope for a caution here at some point to get a couple more gallons of fuel in that truck to make it to the end. And you see Kostic just blew by him on about 35 lap pressure tires. That's just the difference that tires make.
Yeah, Austin Holbrook actually got loose in front of our leader, Dustin Bawley, here with Sean Johnson on a little bit fresher tires too. Dustin's trying to get past Brian Brobst. I think he's going to make it happen here in turn one. But Sean's got a lot fresher tires, and I think he's ready to go. But he just you blocked on the inside and the outside.
Sean's battling, trying to get back on the lead lap. Him and Brian Brobst right now are currently the first two trucks a lap down, so they're battling for a lucky dog.
And Holbrook.
And I'm sure Dustin's not happy to see that behind him. But, you don't want to lose too much time to these guys that are on a little bit fresher tires. Man, they almost took it three wide
Holbrook
there.
And Johnson, they are really throwing down for this first truck one lap down. This is one of the more exciting parts of the race so far.
Yeah, and
I think Dustin might just let them go.
Yeah, I think Dustin probably saw that in his mirror and said, nope, I don't want any part of that right now.
I think they're still going to fight for that fight for that what would be 12th place. So Holbrook, yeah, Holbrook's a good driver. He definitely will give Sean a good fight.
Yeah, no, Austin does a really good job. He was another one of our original ARCA regulars, and he got the call up to trucks, do a seat opening up. Robert Brobst and Steve Loving are bump drafting down the backstretch. I hope somebody told them that we're not at Talladega, but they both kept the truck straight.
I hope not, because it seems like every time we go to a plate race, there's always a caution that has to do with Robert Brobst. All in good fun. But yeah.
Looking at Dustin, so he actually has one lap fresher tires than Evan Pienta, and granted he was dealing with a little bit of lap traffic there, but he's kind of backed the pace up. So I wonder, I'm sure somebody's told him that Cofield's coming. So you want to be able to save a little bit of tire just in case he gets there before a yellow comes out.
Yeah, and you also see here what we're looking at is Jacob Bradley back up to 8th, right behind Sam Stoner, and then behind Bradley is Blake Hoppy running 9th, and Daniel Morris Jr. running that top 10 for the rookie.
Yeah, Jacob's another one of our guys that pitted as soon as the pit window opened. Him and Sam Stoner, Blake's on about 12 lap fresher tires. He's ran both these guys down, and I believe Daniel Morris is on about the same strategy as Blake. So they're both a little bit quicker than the two trucks ahead of them right now.
Looks like they're about to swallow Sam Stoner up.
Yeah, oh man, Sam is really loose getting into the corner.
Yeah, he might have just got on the brakes a little too much.
And the one thing I've noticed is he seems to be the only guy that I've seen so far running that extremely low line coming out turn 2, and it's definitely working for him.
He's making the pass here on Bradley. He's going to try and get up there and take 7th from Jacob.
About got pretty much got a 2-for-1 there through turns 1 and 2.
Daniel Morris is just, I think he's he tried to get it to stick, but I think he just got a little tight under Jacob Bradley there. He's going to slide right back into 9th.
Yeah, I think Daniel and Blake are both in Discord. Oh man, Sam kind of extremely sideways going into turn 3 there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's just overdriving the truck or what's going on, but he's definitely having some struggles here.
Daniel Morris making a pass on Jacob Bradley here.
Holyfield just got around Evan Pienta for 2nd, so it's going to put him roughly 7 seconds behind our leader Dustin Bally with about 51, 52 laps to go here. 6.9 seconds. He's been roughly 0.4 a second quicker than Dustin lately. So
that makes me wonder if Dustin's not just kind of cruising right now.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I would think so.
We got Ryan Robes down pit road again. He had. When was his last pit stop? He pitted on.
He was one of the early.
Oh, he isn't. According to my timing, his last pit stop was lap 39, which that's a full
run,
full field run there. So he might lose a 2nd lap here, but it'll definitely at least get him back on the strategy of everybody else that's 1 lap down. And maybe he takes the wave round if we have a late race caution.
Man, one of the surprises is Steve Loving in 16th, still just a lap down. I did not see that coming out of him to begin this race. He, qualified in the top 10 and just kind of been quietly seemed like he's just moving backwards. But yeah, I don't know if it's a different strategy or what.
It looks like he either had a pit road miscue on his pit stop lap 106, or he had a pit road penalty, because he had 2 laps that were quite slow compared to normal pace. So I guess I wasn't paying attention. He might have had a drive-through or something if he was speeding on the pitch under green flag.
Man, you hate that, because if this thing runs out green, that just basically just ruins your day.
Yeah, he's in dire need of a yellow flag right now. He's roughly a 1/4 of the track behind our leader Dustin Bally to try to get back on the lead lap.
We had a move for 3rd. Kostick got by Pienta there. Seems about like the only pass for position going on right now. Everybody else is kind of spread out, except for Daniel Morris and Blake. They seem to be attached here, rolling around with each other, teammates.
Seems like they've been nose to tail for the better portion of this race. But I'm gonna pull a Clint Boyer and just quit talking and take a potty break real quick.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, as we're following along here, Daniel Morris having a heck of a race. We're looking at right now on screen, looking at Steve Loving, who is running 16th. 1 lap down, Evan Pienta running in 4th place. Not a whole lot going on right now around the track. Everybody's just kind of spaced out except for these 3 cars here. Nobody really. I'd assume everybody's probably trying to manage some of their stuff just to get to the end here, but it looks like Sean Johnson's going to try and make a move here on Devin Jack. That is for 11th place with Samuel Stoner in 10th, just in front of them. We'll watch this little battle unfold here. Devin Jack's going to make a move on Sean Johnson here. On the outside, they can make it stick. No, Sean gets a really good drive off of 2. Gonna hold it down the backstretch. Sean drives in super deep. And he got a little tight on the inside there off of 4. He's gonna fall in line behind Devin Jack, who moves up to 11th.
All right, I am back.
Alrighty.
And I just noticed, so I think everybody's got their eyes on Cofield. I'm watching Michael Kostick, who pitted 1 lap later than Cofield, and he's only roughly a little over a second behind Cofield. And I almost wonder if, I doubt he's trying to keep pace with Cofield, because I'm sure Cofield's just got the bit in his mouth right now, and he's just going. He wants to get to the lead before a yellow comes out. And I almost wonder if Kostick's just saving a little bit in case he does get to Dustin, and those 2 start racing if Michael can take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely something to pay attention to. Yeah, they've definitely shrunk the lead down, but I still don't know if Dustin's not necessarily pushing, just as hard as as hard as he can, really. But it's I don't know.
It looks like now he's dropped off to 32-second lap times, which I've noticed it a couple times in the current player model that we have, especially in the ARCA cars. You drop off, a second and a half to 2 seconds, and then after that, you really don't lose too much more lap time. The tires still wear, but you don't lose as much lap time. Not sure if that was. We might have a developing story. I'm trying to listen here. It almost sounded like Cofield shut his truck off going into turn 1. Hopefully his truck didn't get under field, but he also blinked as he was going to the corner, so it might have been just a sound bug. But the last lap, it sounded like he shut his truck off going into turn 1.
That's an interesting strategy.
So hopefully he didn't get shorted on fuel at all.
Dustin's pitting in. Just sent the message out. Also, Jay Bast. So here's your last stop. You definitely don't want to blow this now.
No, and either you take 2 tires here and a little bit of fuel, or you take 4 and just go as hard as you can. With 35 laps to go.
Fine line.
Dustin's taking right side of Dustin's truck's up. Yep, 2 tire stop for Dustin Bally.
Oh, Jay slid through his box a little bit. I saw him reversing.
Yeah, these hot tires, it's really easy to slide through it if you come in there too hot. Jay's also going to take 2 tires and fuel. As did Evan Pienta. Now, does this force the hand of Cofield and Kostick? Or does Cofield feel like, it was about a 13-lap difference compared to the tires. Does Cofield feel like he'll have a big enough lead to hold on if Dustin's able to get back to him?
And it's hard to say.
I believe Johnny Rapp's coming in too. Yeah,
He has held that position a lot better than I thought he would. He did not slide back like we had thought just a little bit ago.
Yeah, he did a really good job of holding onto his track position. I'll tell you what, Blake Hoppy cannot shake Daniel Morris Jr. Daniel's doing an extremely good job in his first truck start. Daniel Morris, he's also pitting this time.
I wonder if Blake is also gonna pit this lap, or if he's gonna nope, he stays out. Him and Bradley both.
This is gonna make for an extremely interesting run to the checkered flag. I didn't see this coming. It looked pretty straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel bad for the field if Blake waits a long time to go in and get those tires, because you know he can run good on fresh tires, and they definitely run good on some old tires. So that's he's gonna get back out there and lay down some lap times. But yeah, Daniel Morris, he's gonna come out in a good spot. It doesn't look like he's gonna. Doesn't look like he's gonna go a lap down.
Dustin was able to stay in the lead lap. He's a little over 24 seconds behind Cofield right now.
Oh, he did go a lap down.
Did he?
Yeah, just updated here. So he is actually the 7th person lap down. So, but it should all cycle out. So he might be actually in a good spot. He just has to go out there and lay down some qualifying laps, and hope he can keep.
Going back to our leader, Jonathan Cofield, he's in some pretty decent lap traffic right now, and it's allowed Caustic to run him down 3/10 of a second gap now between first and second. We have had one competitor drop out of the race. Unfortunately, Ryan Rose has decided to park the truck and call it a night, so his night will end a little bit shortly. He was having a fairly decent run, so I'm not sure if he had some damage or what happened there. But
I went back and looked, and I think I saw one time off the 2, he bounced it off the wall pretty good. I don't know, it might have caused some pretty bad damage, but he just pulled in and parked. I didn't know, he might have already used his fast repair in that wreck earlier, and went in and saw what the required repairs were and just said, well, it's probably not worth just sitting here for that amount of time. So
we really
going on.
He definitely did. We really haven't seen what all this new damage model entails for these trucks. We know that they can take a beating, but I got a feeling if you do enough damage to them, it's probably not going to be a good thing.
Got Michael Kostek here, just really close with Jonathan Cofield here for first and second. They're 20 seconds ahead of the 3rd place Blake Hoppy and 4th place Dustin Bally, who think Dustin Bally should cycle out, will be your leader, I believe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I guess one thing that I forgot to mention and didn't bring into the fact that, shifting, which is what a lot of these guys are doing, will use more field because they're using higher RPMs. So that might also be playing a factor into why some of these guys have short pitted here and made that 2nd pit stop, or 3rd pit stop, I guess it would be.
Yeah. Jay Bast here on the inside of Kostic. He is the first car 1 lap down, so he's definitely trying to make his way through the field just to put a little bit of distance between Peter Stewart, which is 1 truck behind Kostic. So put a little room there just to try and stay first one lap down. In case of a caution, then he'll get the lucky dog and be right back in this thing. especially with only 7 guys on the lead lap right now because of the pit strategies here.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge advantage to be on lead lap right now, and I'm happy to see my guy Jay Bass back in the top 10. He had a pretty rough one at Darlington. I don't think he was a huge fan of the track, but Jay's grown on me a little bit. For those of you that don't know, he does stream on Twitch at J Bass Blast on Twitch is his username, but
He
he
is
runs
fun,
a little bit
man.
of runs a little bit of everything, NASCAR, road course stuff. So, and he's really good at the road course stuff. It's really interesting to watch him. So it's good to see him having another good run here tonight.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to watch his streams, definitely jump on his Twitch and throw him a comment. He likes reading the comments, and we had a one evening of it seemed like all the Evil Empire guys were jumping in there and commenting and messing around with him, and he's a good dude. He's fun. But yeah, it's always good to, you know, support these guys outside of just this league. These guys race so much more than just here. So whenever they decide to stream or put something on, you know, we try to support our guys because you know, we'd want that in return. So, but yeah, he's definitely one of the good dudes in here.
I just noticed that, but another guy that we haven't really talked about tonight that's having a pretty decent run is Austin Holbrook. He started 15th and he's up to 7th and back on lead lap.
Yeah, he might be playing that strategy too.
Yeah, his last pit stop was 107, so he should be able to make it to the end on fuel here.
We have a pass for the lead. Caustic on the inside here of Cofield.
Yeah, I was kind of what I was alluding to. I was wondering if Caustic, you know, if he could see Cofield in front of him, so he's just saving just enough. There's just a 1 lap difference on tires. And
they're gonna drag race down the front stretch here, side by side. This is, yeah, that's definitely. These guys have a lot of respect for each other too. They've raced each other in other leagues and stuff like that, and they know each other pretty well. So it's always fun to see, you know, get up there and race with your buddies like that.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I believe Caustic is actually teammates with Cofield in a couple different leagues. So
yeah,
we know that those two know each other well and their tendencies. And you know, I'm starting to really compare Michael Caustic to a Kevin Harvick type. At you know, middle part of the race, he's not always there, but by the end of the race, he's usually top 5.
Yeah, always someone you got to watch out for when it comes to the end, that's for sure. But he just passed the class of the field so far tonight was Cofield, and Dustin Bally looking 19 seconds back, still just waiting on the, you know, the pit stops to cycle through. So he wants that lead back, you know he does.
Well, that's really impressive by Caustic, like you were saying. I don't think anybody's really passed Schofield under green flag conditions tonight. So for him to go up there and just take it from him, that speaks volumes to the driver that he is and what he's capable of.
Yeah, he had to find something, maybe following Cofield around, just trying to catch up to him. He might have picked up on a thing or two. Either that or he's just been sandbagging this whole time, and he's just
he might have been
finally turned it on.
looking at our guy with the freshest tires, Dustin Bally, about 19 and a half seconds back with 17 to go.
Really gonna need something to happen.
Yeah, I liked the strategy. It did look like you had to wait a little bit on fuel. I would have preferred taking 4 tires there, so you could have been super aggressive. But
yeah, especially if you had to wait on gas. I mean, if you're already gonna have to wait on gas, you might as well throw the extra set on there and just really just go to town, because it's not really that much of a time difference.
Yeah, I'm looking. We're up to 8 trucks on lead lap. Everybody's fairly spread out here. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like that first long run that we saw. It seems like Cofield just can't quite keep. I'm not sure if it's the right front or his right rear, but it seems like the long run he's kind of struggled a bit more tonight than what we're used to seeing him struggle with these tires.
Yeah, towards the end of the run, he definitely seems to fall off because Dustin almost caught him earlier before the pit cycle started, but now Caustic just got there, and it seemed like Cofield just can't quite close the gap from about 4/10, but they're coming up on Austin Holbrook, who's running 8th, who, if I had to venture to say, probably does not want to finish this race lead lap down. So,
No, not at all.
but I know Austin also is a respectable driver, so he see the leaders coming and know that they're battling, and he might move out of the way also.
Yeah, you get this close to the end of the race, you don't want to be the guy that alters the finish of it and takes the win away from somebody else. Cofield is really driving it into the corners. He's doing a really good job of catching it. It's like he's playing pitch and catch every time he goes into the corner.
He might be trying to pull a diamond. He might be trying to diamond his corner off in 1 and 2 at least. Looked like Caustic drove in a little further than normal there on that lap. Brings the lead.
Yeah, Caustic. Back to that long run line, it seems like for whatever reason the money line just seems to be your right side tire is just above that freshly paved stuff.
Yeah.
Caustic's doing a really good job of hitting that line consistently. Cofield's running a little bit lower. Obviously, he's dealing with some lap traffic here with Austin, which is going to hold him up slightly, but I got a feeling Austin's probably going to let him go this corner, which he does.
Yeah. I'd like to think, Johnny Rapp might be rethinking his strategy from earlier. Might have wanted to do what I was talking about, is go in, when everybody else went in, when he was up there in the top 5, get that set of tires, and leave himself down a set, only having one left, and then he might be up there in this battle for the lead with that. But he is the first truck 1 lap down in 8th, and I don't think he's going to get up there and push these guys trying to get the lap back with with 10 to go like that.
Yeah, I think he's the first truck 1 lap down right now. There's really Jay Bass is the next one that they're gonna lap. He's quite a few seconds up the road. So I think if you're Johnny, you got to hope for a caution to get the wave around right now. Not to mention it is his teammate in second place, so he doesn't want to screw up Jonathan at all here.
Might help him, push him down the straightaway a little bit.
It certainly looks like he's trying.
Man, it might help a little bit, but it seems like Caustic just has such a good drive through the corner still on them old tires.
I was completely wrong because Johnny's on Cofield now. I'm sure Cofield didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, Johnny's on the fresher tires right now, and he's got to run his own race.
I'm sure they were talking about it in the chat, and Cofield's probably like, man, I don't have anything for Michael, so, I want to go ahead and go and get your lap back just in case something happens.
Yeah, I got it. It's hard to tell if some of these guys are lap down, but there's a couple guys that are running fairly close to each other. So who knows what could happen here as we come to the end.
Seems like Blake Hoppy running in 4th and Pienta running in 5th. It's a pretty close battle there.
Yeah, so Evan is on the same strategy as Dustin, so they both pitted lap 140, so he's I think he only took right side tires, but it's still about 33 laps fresher than Blake, so he's ran him down here for fourth.
And I'm just really surprised with Dustin taking the 2 tires that he hasn't gained back more than what he has.
Yeah, I think the first handful of laps there, it made quite a bit of difference. He shaved off about 5 seconds, and now it's kind of even back out again. But at the same time, I think Dustin probably saw Kostick and Cofield coming, and I think it was inevitable that those two were probably going to get around him on the fresher tires. So Dustin decided to roll the dice. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to pay off this race, but it was definitely a good shot at something different.
Well, as we close in with 4 to go, Michael Kostick just, I would say, putting on a end of the race clinic here, but I don't know if Cofield's come to life or Kostick just getting some of that dirty air from those 2 lap cars in front of him, tightening him up a little bit. Because Cofield's, he's definitely not out of the picture just yet.
Yeah, that last lap, it was about a 10th difference. Cofield was just a slight bit faster. This lap, it's going to be just, oh man, an 89 to a 93. So they're just right on top of each other right now, seeing who will flinch first.
Brian Brobst pulls on to the inside to get out of the way for the leaders.
Yeah, that's the admirable thing to do. I got to give props to Brian. He knew he didn't want to impact the end of this race. These 2 guys are fighting for everything that they got.
We are at 2 to go here from New Hampshire. And Cofield is just not letting Kostick get away.
No, he is not. That last lap, it was a 92 to a 92. So that just tells you how even these 2 are. That'll be interesting. Does Cofield try something crazy here on the last lap, or is he comfortable sitting in second, knowing the points lead that he has going into the night?
That should be the white flag. And Cofield just, man, I don't think he can get there. That's going to be an awful big send in the 3.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get to him.
Kostick just so super smooth. And he is going to come out of 4 and win the Ansley Foundation 175 at New Hampshire. What a comeback for him after a 12th starting spot.
Yeah,
it'd be your biggest mover for the night also.
Really didn't look like he had the pace in qualifying, and I don't know what he found in the race, but whatever it was something special. You see the respect being shown between Cofield and Kostick. Cofield pulling up next to him to congratulate him there.
Man, that was Cofield really, he definitely gave it all he had. He didn't leave anything out there. He just, whatever the truck could do.
Yeah, it was definitely, guarantee you, it was 110% effort from Jonathan tonight, and unfortunately for him, he just didn't quite have enough.
All right, well, I'm going to give a rundown here of the finishing order. We had Michael Kostick win this one. Jonathan Cofield second. Dustin Bally third. Blake Hoppy fourth. Evan Pienta fifth. Sean Johnson sixth. Jay Bass seventh. Johnny Rapp eighth is rounding out your trucks on the lead lap. And then 1 lap down, we had Jacob Bradley in ninth. Daniel Morris in 10th, with the rookie getting the top 10 there. Austin Holbrook in the 11th spot. Devin Jack 12th. Peter Stewart 13th. Sam Stoner 14th. Steve Loving 15th. Robert Brobst 16th. And then 2 laps down, Brian Brobst 17th. and 18th was our disconnected Ryan Rose. So with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and start some interviews, starting with third place, Dustin Bawley. Hey Dustin, it's Tyler and Kevin up in the booth tonight. You got us?
Yeah, guys, how you doing?
Oh, all right, man. Well, I mean, the strategies were all over the place. Tell us a little bit about yours.
Yeah, so I, obviously it was apparent pretty early on that we couldn't run a two-stopper. At least I couldn't. Jay was kind of the same way. Steve ended up running a one-stop. I think Austin did, or sorry, running a two-stop versus a three-stop. So Steve and Austin were on those on that shorter strategy, and then Jay and I were on the more pit stops. And it got to be towards the end there, and we were trying to figure out when to come in because we weren't going to make it. And we kept going back and forth on the radio and ended up just saying, all right, we're going to split our last stint and come in with about 35 to go. And for me, it didn't make much difference. I think there were a couple of people in front of me who pitted when I didn't think they were going to. I thought that I was going to have to work my way up from, I think it came out like 11th or 12th, and was actually going to have to fight my way up. And then the seas kind of parted, and people came into the pits. But yeah, it ended up working out for us. We had decent pace throughout the whole race, better than I thought. I wasn't confident coming into this race. But yeah, just kind of, there were some early cautions that put us in a favorable spot. We didn't have anything for Kostic and Cofield. I think they were long gone. So we kind of knew that that P3 was going to be as good as we were going to get, and fortunately executed to the plan. So it was good.
And for not being too confident, you ran a heck of a race, getting up there, leading some laps, getting the bonus point, and we thought, with everything cycling out, we thought, man, it might be able to get back up there.
Yeah, it was tough. I realized kind of when I was catching Cofield there in that middle stint that he must have been fuel saving, so he was able to make it work with just one more stop, whereas I had to make the two. And I think that that was maybe the difference for him. But I mean, he was so quick. I mean, his qualifying lap was insane. He had great race pace, and then we didn't really realize Kostic was a threat till the end. He was kind of mired back. I don't know where. I think he started 12th or whatever, right? So I didn't really see a whole lot of him until the very end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good battling. I mean, we had good battles with Pienta and Sam Stoner and Jay and Sean Johnson. So it was really fun racing those guys. I thought, overall it was a really clean race. People were given a lot of room from what I could see. There was that incident with Jacob and Sean, or Jacob and and Sam early on that we were fortunate to get through. But other than that, yeah, just pretty clean race, and the speed was unexpected. So a podium is definitely welcomed.
Heck yeah, man. Well, got anybody you want to shout out?
Sure, I will shout out to my wife, Rebecca. If you're watching, honey, I love you. My parents, Tom and Deb. My mother-in-law, if she's watching. All my off-the-wall racing teammates. We had 3 in the top 11, almost 3 in the top 10, so that was great. And then Steve had a kind of a tough day, but he was going there for the pit strategy, and we always appreciate him. We appreciate SLiDESIGNS, everything they do for the league. I don't know what the race sponsor is. I think it was either autism awareness or something like that. So thanks to them, and then thanks to you guys for broadcasting this race. Can't wait to watch it back. I think there were, from what I could tell, a lot of exciting battles, so hopefully this was not a boring one for you guys to watch. And yeah, we'll take this momentum and go to Charlotte.
Yeah, what do you think about Charlotte? What's your opinion on it?
I'm a big fan. I've run the track a bunch of times. We did pretty well there last season in ARCA. We finished second behind Jacob Bradley, so I think we'll be competitive. Maybe, I don't know if we'll be as competitive as we were here. I kind of think of myself as the, I don't know, 6th or 7th fastest guy. So anytime I do better than that, it's good. Anytime I do worse than that, it stinks. And then when I'm kind of there, kind of Bristol, I thought was kind of indicative of my pace this season. So yeah, we'll see. I like the track. I think I'll have fun no matter what. I'll enjoy having some higher banks. But yeah, I mean, just it was really weird that I just didn't, have the confidence coming in, and turned out to have a good result. And also shout out to Rain. Thank you. I know you're listening. I hope you feel better, buddy, and we miss you. And hopefully you enjoyed this finish a little more than last week, where we were all mired down in 15th and worse.
Yeah, I'm sure he was definitely cheering you guys on in the YouTube comments too. So yeah, we'll like to have him back next week for Charlotte. I know he's excited for Charlotte. So yep, I'll throw you back with your team.
All right, have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Yep. All right, let's bring Mr. Cofield in here for his second place finish. Hey, Jonathan Cofield, it's Kevin and Tyler in the booth. You got us?
What's up, brother?
Man, it really just looked like you were the class of the field tonight, and then that dang Caustics just got up there and got it. Man, you guys were super good. Just tell us and the people at home about your night.
It went pretty good. I like New Hampshire pretty good. Just tried to get out front and save the tires a little bit. Try to save a little fuel. Uh, I think a lot of the guys there toward the end had to pit one more time. I think I saved about 2 laps enough, so it wasn't too bad. Nice little quiet night. Hate it. Bradley got in his little squabble there, but we'll take it. P2.
That's right. Yeah, you guys were all, it seemed like, on a little bit differing strategies. When you were out on the big lead, and Dustin seemed to be catching up, were you doing some fuel saving to try to make it just a, less of a stop race than most of the other people?
Yeah, I was. I had him about 4 seconds, so I started clutching a little bit, shutting the engine off a little bit, and then he'd catch me to about a second, and then I'd get back on it and go some more, and then save a little more. So yeah, I was kind of back and forth a little bit, trying to save a little fuel there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys ran a heck of a race, man. You got anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody watching the broadcast. I know we got some special guests for the Cancer Association. I want to thank you guys in the booth doing a great broadcast. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service. All my teammates at Payday. Congratulations to Caustic. He's always a real good tire saver, man. I don't know if he pitted 1 or 2 laps after me, but it made the difference. He was running a different line that I couldn't run, and he run me down. I tried to stay there on the high side, but he finally got me.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna throw you back with your team, and good job tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, I think it's time we bring in the big winner.
I think so.
Awesome. Hey, Michael, it's Tyler and Kevin up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, so as we were sitting here watching this race and we saw you closing in on Cofield, there was a comment made by Kevin, said, this guy, he seems like the Kevin Harvick type. You don't hear about him a whole lot throughout the first and the middle part of the race, and then it's like, bam, he's leading, and then he wins. Just tell us about your night, man.
Yeah, I couldn't find any like qualifying speed or short run speed, so I just kind of worked on a decent line to save tires and just be effective later on in the run, and it kind of worked out a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. Yeah, you and Cofield obviously have a lot of history and good history. Running with each other a bunch. Tell me what that's like running up there with a good buddy. Fighting for the win.
Yeah, he's my teammate in another league. He's one of my favorite people to race against. We can just run hard against each other, give each other room, maybe door bang a little bit, but it's all in good fun, and we usually both come out the other end still looking pretty clean.
That's right. You guys were definitely seem like the class of the field tonight. Looking ahead here, what are your thoughts on Charlotte?
I do not like Charlotte very much, but Richmond's a fun track, so I'll look forward to that one.
So what you're saying is you'll probably qualify 12th or 11th at Charlotte, and then finish first or second.
Hopefully.
All right, man. Well, you got anybody you want to shout out for tonight?
Yeah, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Team at Dumpster Fire Racing, and I believe it's the Ansley Foundation.
Yes.
Shout out to them. Go donate if you can. It's for a good cause. And everybody else in the league for allowing me to run and have fun every week.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're definitely glad to have you. it's always fun watching you out there with them guys running. So, yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna drop you back in with your team, and we'll probably be talking to you next week if I had to guess.
Hope so. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks. All right, man. Well, there's our top three. Anybody else who is online who you think like to bring in here?
Um,
I brought in Blake, but I think he is already gone.
yeah,
We have
Blake is already gone. Yeah, I'm taking a look here. Yeah, I think we expected more out of Jacob Bradley. Do you wanna kind of
Yeah,
pick
we'll
his brain a little bit about the contact and
bring him in
what all
here.
was going on there?
Hey, Jacob, it's Tyler and Kevin in the booth. You got us,
Yeah, I got you guys.
man. We was really looking forward to that race up front, and then we had some unfortunate contact with you and Stoner there. So I know that kind of changed your race up a bunch. Just tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I did take tires on that first stop. I was thinking we were gonna get another yellow. So I was gonna cycle. I pitted for gas. I was gonna cycle out a little bit better than Johnny would, and I would have had a set of tires. But on the restart, Sam got into me there, and that sent us to the back. I didn't know I had engine damage at first. I had a little down a little bit of revs. So I dealt with that for the next like 60 laps until I pitted. But after that, I kind of cycle out in front of some people, and the strategy just didn't really work out with how I had to play with the damage and everything. I was really excited with the battle that me and Cofield were gonna have, but unfortunately, it didn't play out.
Yeah, we were wondering if you ended up having damage or if you were just riding around trying to play some strategy type deal there.
Yeah,
But,
it just a little bit of damage, but strategy didn't really work out originally, and it didn't help getting turned by a teammate.
yeah, yeah, that always hurts. Just ask Daniel Morris about Arca at Darlington, but yeah, it's yeah we really thought that this was about to be a big battle between Cofield obviously laying down heater and then you up there and Dustin but then Caustics just came up and stole it. But yeah, you got anybody you want to shout out and thank tonight?
Yeah, I gotta give some credit to Cofield. He outpaced me throughout practice, qualifying, and then the race. I thank the rest of the Pit A group too. They put in a lot of work. I know it didn't play out for all of us, but we did our best. I thank our partnership with Vintage and Dumpster Fire. They always help out and get some practice sessions in with us. I'm gonna thank my parents watching at home. And thanks SLiDESIGNS for sponsoring the Truck Series.
All right, man. Well, we'll throw you back into your team and have a good one.
Hey guys.
All right, we got one final interview left, and we've been saving this one for the guy who helped put this race sponsorship together here for the Ansley Foundation, Mr. Sean Johnson, who can come in here and tell us some more about it. Hey, Sean, it's Tyler and Kevin in the booth. You got us?
Hey, what's up?
Well, I'm gonna say we saved the best interview for last because we want you to tell us about this race sponsor, the Ansley Foundation.
Yeah, so Ansley Foundation is a foundation started by Ansley Cochran and her family after she was diagnosed at a young age. She passed away a few years ago at the age of 19, but the foundation is still going strong. It's dedicated to pediatric cancer and pediatric cancer research. Only 4% of federal funding for cancer research goes to studies on pediatric cancers. So the Ansley Foundation is dedicated to trying to raise more money for research specifically for pediatric cancer.
That's awesome, man. It's such a sad thing, really. But yeah, we're glad that we got to put on this race for that. And for any of you that missed it at the beginning, if you would like to learn more and donate, you can go to the ansleyfoundation.org, and we've put the link in the on the broadcast here. Yeah, we actually just had it also tagged in the comments. So yeah, racing for a good cause, and you yourself had a good run tonight.
Yeah, it ended up going pretty well. I was not fast in practice or qualifying, and race just ended up. I had some long run speed and made a couple good strategy calls and ended up towards the front.
Yeah, it was fun watching watching the battle you had there with Daniel Morris. You guys were going back and forth and trading a little paint there, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, you guys did great, and thank you for letting us race, tonight for this great cause, and we'll continue to push this forward and definitely try and get some donations out there.
Yeah, hopefully this can raise some awareness and raise some money for them. So
Yeah, well, thank you a lot, man. It definitely means a lot to a lot of people. So, definitely, big shout out to you, and we'll keep doing this. So, I'm gonna throw you back with your team, man. Good job
all
tonight.
right, thank you.
All right. Well, let's see here. Wonder if Mr. Rain wants to pop in. If he has anything to say. If not, then we might end up closing this thing out. Kevin, you got any last comments?
Yeah, I thought it was, a really entertaining race. I don't think anybody really saw the strategy playing out the way it was. And definitely made for an entertaining end to the race. Those last 30, 35 laps, seeing if Dustin could catch the top two, and Caustic saving just enough once again to be the closer in this league and close out his third win of the year.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like you look at all the competition, and he really just he's having such a good year, and he's able to beat these guys who are known winning a lot.
Yeah, I believe that third win of the year. I think that's the most of any truck driver that we've had so far. I think Cofield might have 2 wins, or maybe 3. I'm not sure, but those two have definitely been the winningest truck drivers that we've had this season. I think the points are a little skewed in Cofield's favor. I think Caustic's missed 1 or 2 races, so that'll be interesting to see these last 4 weeks who can come out on top.
That's right. And next week we will be at the same time. We will be at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 145 laps there, night race. So yeah, looking forward to that. Way too early predictions for Charlotte.
Oh man, it looks like Jacob's got his internet figured out. I know when he was around the ARCA series last season, he was just stupid fast on the mile and a half. Can't count out Cofield, obviously. But I really think that Jacob is probably gonna walk the field. Other than Darlington is not really a mile and a half, so it'll be our first true mile and a half race. But I also look back to the last race last season in the ARCA series at a mile and a half, and I believe Dustin Bally won that one. We got 2 mile and a halves coming up in the next 4 weeks, so I think that 21 trucks is definitely rolling with a lot of momentum. Won 2 weeks ago at the road course, Canadian Tire, so I think he'll also be a major player in the outcome of that race.
Yeah, and also with this update with these trucks, the drafting plays a lot more, might even play a lot more of a factor than what it used to. So Charlotte and then Gateway and then Vegas are the last three tracks that will really have drafting impact for these trucks. So we'll see how that plays into factors, and it's definitely gonna be fun. These races coming up, these tracks definitely provide some good racing. So also don't sell yourself short for Charlotte. I know you'll get in there and get some practice in and get it figured out.
The 88 crew, we're going to be laying in the weeds all week, and where we end up is where we end up. I'm not kind of going into it with no expectations, and hopefully I don't wreck anybody or impact the championship. That's my biggest fear. I'll probably be a lot more cautious than what I am most races. I hate to make a mistake and cost anybody points. So
Yeah, you don't really want to be known as that guy,
yeah, I know. I got to race against these guys next season, so I don't need to be making enemies this early on.
That's right. So next, you guys will see us is Tuesday night at the Daytona Road Course. Super excited about that one, if you can tell. I wish it was on the normal super speedway. I love those races, but yeah, we're going to hit the curves and be doing a little left, a little right, and hopefully not for my sake a little backwards. So that's the ARCA race on Tuesday, and then that following Thursday will be the Truck Series at Charlotte. So and let's not forget Monday night. Monday nights is our late model stock league, which is put on the broadcast by Mr. J Bass, who we were telling you about earlier with the Twitch page, and he does his streaming, but he does our commentary for Monday night in the late model series, and they are going to be at see here my dates right. They will be at Nashville Fairgrounds, so ought to be a good race too. That's 50 laps. It should make for a good race also there, Nashville Fairgrounds. But all right, well, I think it's about time we close this thing out. Kevin, it was nice that I could pull you in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was weird trying to do this by myself. It's I don't know. I just feel like an idiot. I'm just in here rambling, stuff going on.
I completely feel you, but yeah, if anybody's bored on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday night, we definitely have you covered. Monday night, Tyler already talked about the late models. That'll be our season finale at Nashville Fairgrounds. And I believe the next season starts up in about a month after that. And then Tuesday we have the ARCA guys going to the Daytona Road Course. I think everybody should have their popcorn ready. It sounds like we might have a couple road course ringers joining us for that one, and then obviously the Charlotte Truck Race, which Charlotte usually puts on a pretty good show no matter what the car. So should be a really interesting and fun week of racing here in the Backmarker Racing League, and I'm definitely excited for it.
That's right. Well, yeah, tune in Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We got a full week for you, so no reason why you can't join in with. Have some fun and watch some racing. With that, I am Tyler D. Talent with co-commentator tonight, Kevin Baumler, teammates. And with that, we want to say good night and thank you for tuning in.